And we will record our baby boomer flow on May, whatever today is. What's today, the 12th already? Holy cow. Anyway, it's baby boomer flow in May on a Wednesday. Let's go ahead and get moving. So over to the mat, we'll start today in child's pose. And as I said, we're going to do some flow, but we're also going to do a little teaching points today. But we'll start with the child's pose. If it's available, knees wide as the mat and big toes come to touch.
Cheryl.
Yes.
Adjust your camera.
No. You get to look at the light fixture today. No. You don't get to see me today. You have to stare at the light fixture. All right, let's try that again. Child's pose. Knees wide, big toes come to touch. Now that's not working in your body. Bring the knees closer together. You can always drop a folded blanket or beach towel between thighs and calves to soften the angle on the knee. Sometimes when the body is cold, knees not yet warm, that angle is a little too much. We come into whatever customization of child's pose feels good in your body today. I love to start a practice in child's pose for a lot of sneaky reasons. It obviously begins to open knees and hips. If you stretch the arms out long, it begins to open the tops of the shoulders. And those are places we quite often hold stress and quite often hold tension. It's a great place to begin to turn out the outside world and turn into the inside world. It's a great place to begin to connect to your breath. Now I invite you in this child's pose, if it's available to you, bring your hands out in front of you. Thumbs and pointer fingers to touch in a diamond somewhere above your head on the mat. And then find a little rock from side to side in your hips. It's an odd little movement, but it's what I found very effective at beginning to loosen up the low back and the hips. So find just a little wiggle, just a little rock from one leg to the other. Begin to loosen up the hips. As I said, find your breath. I always recommend we practice with the Ujjayi. If it's available, seal the lips in and out through the nose, slightly deeper breath, and often a slower breath. And let the breath guide the movement. If the movement is faster than the breath, slow the movement rather than the breath. In this child's pose, stretch your hands way out in front of you and bring a little weight into your hands. A little weight in the ball mounds of the fingers. Lift up the heel of the hand, really press in the ball mounds of the fingers. Kitty claw the fingers and the thumbs, and then allow the bottom of the hand to drift to the mat. Now notice what's happening across the back of your shoulders. That activation, that sense of engagement and stretch is what we're looking for in downward facing dog. That's the sensation of down dog as we press through the hands, taking the hips a little closer to the heels. We'll look for that again in just a few moments. Next, inhale, rock your way up to all fours and find a tabletop position. Reset hands, reset knees, find some wiggles, and make this tabletop an honest, strong position. Folks often just pass through it, but there's a lot to be gained from tabletop. Press the mat away from you, pressing down to the ball ends of the fingers, the tips of the fingers and the thumb, the base of the thumb, little to no weight over in the heel of the hand under the pinky finger. Press the mat away, lift the heart up between the shoulder blades. Tuck the chin towards your nose or your knees, just a drop. Find a little length in the cervical spine. Tuck your toes under, gently drop your hips towards your heels. Your feet will tell you when you're done. Inhale, rock that back up. Exhale, drop that back down one more time, waking up those small muscles in the toes, the arch of the foot, and the ankles. And then let's come back to center in this tabletop position. Inhale, slide the right foot long, find a little rock forward and back. I like to spend a little longer in integration to really wake and warm the body. Then we start to move. Come back to a stationary tabletop position, right foot is extended. Inhale, right leg lifts. Press actively back through that heel as if you were standing on it. If it feels okay, left arm reaches forward. Now that's too much balance, work one half or the other. We can always deconstruct the posture to customize it. Exhale, draw the knee to nose. Elbow to groin, and then count back. Drop your chin in as if your forehead were going to bump into your knee. Really pull that in. Inhale, stretch it out long, both directions. Exhale, draw it in, knee to nose. Inhale, stretch it out. Exhale, draw it in one last time, tightest one yet. Inhale, stretch it out. Exhale, set it down, find a little wiggle in the hips. Let's go to the other side. Inhale, tuck the toes, left foot slides long, and we find that little rock back and forth. Everything should move, toes, ankles, shoulders, wrists, all of those joints move in just a little. Come back to stationary. Inhale, left foot lifts and presses back toward the wall behind you. If your balance is okay, right hand reaches forward. Exhale, draw it in, knee to nose, curl it in tight. Curl it in tight here. Really arching to the back, pressing the back away. Inhale, reach it long. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, reach it long. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, reach it long. Exhale, set down the hand and the knee. Give the hips a little wiggle wiggle. So from here, walk your hands one full handprint forward. Knees are together in that tabletop, so they're about hip width distance apart. Drop your hips back toward your heels. Don't move your hands. Hips back toward heels. See this very elongated feeling that you have here. Stretched out through the armpits. Hips may not come all the way to the heels, but we're really elongated here. We'll move into the first downward facing dog. You're going to do several today, different times. Inhale, rock your way forward, tuck your toes. Keep a big deep bend in your knees as you inhale and lift the hips up to the sky. Now let the torso hinge, rotate from the hips, ears rotate down between the biceps. We still got a big bend in the knees. Press the hips up and away. The purpose of down dog is not heels on the floor, it's hips in the air. It's that stretch between the base of the tailbone and the crown of the head. Begin to walk your dog. Now take that to mean anything you want. Any wiggles, waggles, roll the shoulders, roll the hips. I like to drop one heel and then the other. Whatever feels yummy, do that. Then come back to stationary. Let's set up this downward facing dog very properly, good alignment. Feet are about hip width distance apart, probably up on your toes. Feel free to bend the knees as deeply as you like. In fact, I encourage it because it begins to develop more strength in the shoulders. Hands are spread wide. Rooting out to the base of the fingers, the base of the thumb, locating claws. Bend the knees deeper and then press the hips back up higher. Then allow the backs of the knees to straighten, heels to drift toward the floor in this first downward facing dog. Inhale, press the heart toward the thighs, and exhale. Press a little deeper. Inhale, gaze forward, roll up on the toes, 1,000 baby steps to the front of the mat. For ragdoll forward fold, I'm going to turn to face you. Feet are at least hip width distance apart, perhaps not a little wider. Knee bend in the knees, let the tummy rest on the thigh. And I encourage you to really take a deep squat. This is a funny, surprising strength builder in the thighs, the hips, the glutes. And it really helps to open all of those areas while it looks like you're just squatting. Let the weight of your hands dangle to the floor. You can take hold of opposite elbows. Let the weight of your head release. Let the weight of the upper body gently pull the lower body open. Find a twist if it feels good, a sway. Whatever movement feels yummy. I like to twist and open the rib cage. I find a lot of tightness likes to hide in the rib cage. So let's take our time to open the ribs. And then come back to center. Drop your hands down in the direction of your toes. You can always bring your block or the seat of your chair in front of you. Inhale, slowly slide the hands up the legs as you uncurl and stack the spine one vertebra at a time. Take your time, head is the last thing to rise. This is our first mountain, Tadasana. We'll do Urdhva Hastasana in just a moment, Tadasana. Take the time in this mountain to align your spine. Look down at your toes, it matters. Pick them up, spread them out, set them back down. Big toes can touch with a small space between the heels. I like a little more space. I like my feet to be directly under my hips. Find a place that feels the most stable for you. And then soft but strong, connect to the earth, pull that energy up through the soles of your feet, through the knees, through the hips, through the shoulders. Let that energy go right out the crown of the head. Hands are open wide, palms forward, shoulder blades are rotated together behind you. Mountain pose, the basis for everything else we'll do. Inhale, sweep the hands up and over Urdhva Hastasana or lifted hand posture. Soften the shoulders, let the shoulder blades slide back down your back. And hold for just a breath. And exhale, bring the hands to heart center. If you'd like to set an intention for your practice, this is a wonderful place to do it here in Samastiti, standing with intention. Maybe today, if you don't have something in mind, I would suggest just follow your breath. The movement is not nearly as important as the breath. All about the breath. We're going to start to move through a classic sequence called Sun Salutation A. Surya Namaskar A, as I mentioned earlier, it's about flexion and extension of the spine. So we'll do one standing variation, then we'll do the classic variation, then we'll come back up to standing. So inhale, sweep the arms up and over, extended mountain. Exhale, hands float through heart center, soft hinge in the hips, deep bend in the knees as we fold forward. Hands drift in the direction of the floor. So let's pause here for just a moment and talk about this forward fold. Ideally, in a forward fold, the tummy is resting on the thighs and the hips have lifted high and the nose has rotated down toward the knees. To get that feeling, drop your hips, take a deep squat, velcro your tummy, your torso to your thighs, and then slowly straighten the backs of your knees to lift your hips. But leave the tummy and the thighs connected. This is where we're headed with forward fold. Drop the hips one more time and inhale, softly lift the hips one more time. You may notice there's a little more length in the arms when you do that. Inhale, halfway lift. Draw the hands up to the thighs, thumbs to the hip creases, elbows back by the hips, shoulder blades clicked together behind you. Gaze is flat down. Little tuck in the chin to find length in the back of the neck, and then lower your head another 2 inches. This is halfway lift. Inhale all the way up, extended mountain. Here's where we're going to take a standing variation. Cactus out the arms, take a little standing back bend. Elbows and shoulders go behind the hips. Belly button comes forward. This is a standing back bend. Inhale, come up, and exhale, fold all the way back down. Inhale, halfway lift. Now we're going to do the classic version, which takes us on and off the floor. So I'm going to come back to standing at the front of my mat. So this time we're still in a halfway lift. We'll move through the full standing, the classic version of Sunday. Inhale, extended mountain, hands up and over. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, find the flat back. Exhale, fold, step one foot and back, and then the other. Find a full plank, or perhaps a half plank. Wherever you're at though, hips are neither higher nor lower, but straight in line between shoulders and heels. Press down through the hands to press the mat away, lift the heart, press back through the heels. Now we hold this full plank or half plank, whichever works better in your body today. We hold it for a couple of breaths, build some fire, some heat, some discipline. Stay in the full plank, or if you'd like, lower your knees to the half plank. But on the inhale, hinge forward. Exhale, elbows brush the ribs as we lower all the way to the mat. Tops of the toes are flat on the mat, anchor through the pelvis. We're setting up for baby cobra, Bhujangasana. Here's our back bend again. Inhale, gently lift the forehead, the heart, maybe the hands away from the mat. This is our back bend, Bhujangasana, baby cobra. Exhale, forehead to the mat. Inhale, tuck the toes, either through half plank, tabletop, or full plank. We press back to downward facing dog. Now that's a classic Sun A salutation. If making that transition on and off the floor works well for you, it's a huge strength builder. Let's go through that one more time. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, big hands. One step of many. Forward fold, front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, extended mountain all the way up. Exhale, fold right back down. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Plant the hands. Other foot steps back. Both feet back. Find your full plank or your half plank. Inhale, hinge forward. Exhale, lower to the mat like you were on a board. Inhale, baby cobra. Head, heart, and maybe the hands lift. And exhale, forehead to the mat. Inhale, tuck the toes. Your choice, half plank, tabletop, full plank, on the way to downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, 1,000 baby steps to the front of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up, extended mountain. Exhale, hands to heart center. So that's a couple of ways to approach a Sun A. Know that you can always go the other way. Even if you're in a class and the teacher is guiding the down dog version, you can take this time to customize your practice and do the standing version. As you're building strength for downward facing dogs, you may have 2 in you today, not 20. So do the 2 with integrity and then customize your practice. Next week, 3 with integrity. The same thing with the planks. It is better to do a solid half plank than it is to do a wobbly or a not solid, a banana plank where the belly goes up or the hips go back. So that's Sun A. So we're going to move now into Sun B, Sun Salutation B, Surya Namaskar B. That's where we get our warrior dance, our warrior 2 and our reverse warrior. And I'm going to show you 3 ways to approach that, and then we'll move on from there. But I want you to get this sort of built-in muscle memory. The basic postures are the same. The difference is the transitions between the posture. That down dog, baby cobra, or sometimes I'll get to that in a minute, chaturanga, is a big strength transition. So we need to know how to do it properly, and we need to know how to go around it if that's not in our practice today. But the basic postures stay the same. So variation 1 for our Sun Salutation A, I believe we've done this together
in the past. But standing in the middle, facing the long edge of your mat, you'll step 1 foot wide and then the other. Feet wider than your shoulders. Feet wide enough that the ankles have turned and the pressure is coming into the outside edge of the mat. You may have some stretch and some work on the inner thighs. So this is where we start with this version of the warrior dance. Then we'll bring our weight down into our left foot, pick up the right toes, send them out toward the short edge of the mat, and begin to find our lunge. You may need to adjust the length of your lunge. So find a place that definitely is letting you drop the back hip forward, but the front knee is stacked over the front ankle and it's under control. And then we'll rotate the shoulders toward the short edge or the long edge of the mat. Send the arms out, gaze forward, and we're in our classic warrior 2. So we'll do our warrior dance from here. We'll hold the postures a little longer this time, and the next 2 run-throughs will go a little faster. So warrior 2, starting from the bottom, check in with your feet. Are you firmly grounded? Are you balanced? As much weight in front as in back. Front foot is flat on the mat, back foot is leaning, so the weight is toward the knife edge. Front foot can be down through the ball bounce of the toes. Peek over your knee, make sure you can still see your toes. That knee likes to drop in. This is our warrior 2. And we hold here to build that strength and muscle memory, to allow us to explore what's happening in the posture. The next in our dance is extended side angle. Inhale, leave the feet and legs where they are, but hinge forward, reaching past the end of your mat. Exhale, one arm goes up, the other goes down. We tick-tock the arms. Bottom arm can rest on the knee, but make sure you've not dumped your weight. I prefer to just rest my knee or my arm inside my knee. It helps me remember to press my knee over and helps me remember to not dump my weight. Top arm can go straight up, or as strength builds, we'll take that arm across. Long line of vertical or diagonal in energy from heel to hand. Leave the feet and legs where they are. Inhale, reverse warrior. Arms tick-tock over and around. Top hand can come straight up or begin to come overhead to open up the rib cage. Bottom hand can rest gently on the leg, can come to the hip, or perhaps you bring it around so the back of the hand rests on the low back, and that hand reaches towards the front thigh. That begins to open the shoulder. It's called a half lunge. Now here in this transition, we'll exhale, bring the hands back up to center, and turn to star. So all the toes face the long edge of the mat, arms are lifted. Then we'll turn the left toes out and go right back into our warrior dance. Same thing, different side. But if you're in a class and the vinyasa, the down dog is too much, this is a good way to skip that and stay moving with the class. So holding the warrior 2 the same length of time on this side. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, hinge forward. Exhale, extended side angle. Your choice, top arm up or beginning to come over. But you do want to roll the shoulder back, roll the chest open. So the shoulders are stacked over the front thigh. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, reverse warrior, feet and legs stay where they are as you come up and over. Let the legs quiver. If you need to come out of the lunge, do it. Softly straighten the front leg and sink back in. Reverse warrior with fanning out the rib cage. Next, inhale, cartwheel the hands up, feet flip, we're in star. One more time. So bring the hands to the hips, walk the feet back together, shake that out. So that's one version of moving through the warrior dance. And you may find if you're putting together your own sequence or you're in a class, that's more body friendly. If you're in a class that's moving a little quicker than you're ready to move that day. So that's one. Let me show you another. So we're going to come back to this one from standing on the mat, just like we started the last one. Inhale, extended mountain. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, find the flat back. And exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up, extended mountain. And exhale, fold. Plant the hands, step the left foot way back. You can drop that knee or keep it lifted. For today's purposes, we're going to keep it lifted. Fingertips or hands can come to the floor or your mat or the seat of a chair. Flip the back heel down, inhale, rise up, find warrior two. If you need to reset either foot, take the time to do it. We'll move through the warrior dance a little faster this time. Now we're focusing more on those transitions. Inhale, extended side angle as we reach and tip on the exhale. Inhale, reverse warrior, come up and over. Okay, here's our variation, our option for the transition. Exhale, cartwheel both hands to the mat. Bring the front foot, pick up the back heel. Launch forward and lift the back leg. Now we want our fingertips on the floor, hands or blocks on the floor, or on blocks. As we lift the back heel straight out behind us in a one-legged standing halfway lift. Exhale, toes meet toes, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. And exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up, extended mountain. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, right foot steps back. We stay lifted in our low lunge. Inhale, lighten the fingers, lighten the torso, flip the right heel down as we rise up and find warrior two. Settle into the lunge. I need to adjust mine. I got it a little too short. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, hinge. Extended side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior. Hands come up and over. Exhale, cartwheel the hands to the mat. Frame the foot. Lift the back heel. Launch forward. Standing halfway. Now, hands do come out in front of the foot. Hands are not right down by the ankle, so that you can find a long back. Your hands need to be in front of you to give room for your spine to expand. This is a big low back strengthener, obviously, big stretch for the standing leg. And exhale, toes meet toes. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up, extended mountain. Exhale, hands to heart center. All right, that's version 2. That's the one I like to use more in my little bit gentler classes. You have a difference in where you're strengthening. So while you're not strengthening quite as much in the upper body as you do with the next one when we go to down dog, you're definitely building strength, stamina, and openness in the lower body. All right, let's go back to the classic then. Down our classic warrior dance. And this will include a transition forward that's called a step through, and a transition back that's often referred to as a flow or a vinyasa. And that's where we get to the down row. So we'll go ahead and start that now. So come to the front of your mat. Inhale, extended mountain. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold forward. Plant the hands, step your way back. Find your way to plank. And then to downward facing dog. So this transition typically starts right here in a downward facing dog. Bring a little more weight into your left foot. Inhale, right foot lifts up behind you at a diagonal line between the heel and the hip. Same idea of pressing back through the knee. This is called a three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knee, bring the heel into the hip. Hinge forward, shoulders come across ribs as we step through, bringing the right hand between.
the right foot between the hands. Now, that's not a transition that comes easily to me. My body is short and my legs are long. But that step through is how we typically get into our warrior dance. And then from here, it'll be very familiar. Inhale, lighten the torso, left heel flips down. We rise up, warrior two. Hold here for just a breath. Inhale, hinge forward. Exhale, extend inside ankle. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the heels to the mat. Frame the foot. Here's where we change the transition again. Step back to find high plank or half plank. Exhale, lower to the belly. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, push back to downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, left leg loose. Press actively back. Exhale, bend the knee, draw the heel into the hip. Hinge forward. Step through. Now it takes me a couple of movements to get there. You may be able to step straight through. Inhale, rise up, warrior two. Hold the exhale. Inhale, hinge forward. Exhale, extend inside angle. Inhale, reverse warrior, up and over. Exhale, cartwheel the hands to the mat. Frame the foot. Step back. High plank or half. Lower to the belly. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, forehead releases to the mat. Inhale, push back. Downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more. Flutter the lips. And drop the knee, come down to the mat. Grab a sip of water. So that is 3 variations on how to transition into and out of a warrior dance. I think what we will do going forward is we'll take those downward dogs and we'll add a few each week, and then we'll see when we get to the point that you let me know it's enough. So like next week, I think our first Sunday, we will pass through the downward dog. Our first warrior dance will pass through the downward dog. So we'll begin to do 2 or 3 or 4 each practice and begin to build that strength. Next week, I'll also introduce you to a move that's called a chaturanga, and I will introduce it to you because you need to know it. I am not an advocate of the move, and I'll explain that next week. But go ahead and grab a sip of water, and let's get a little bit of core. I do want to work one standing balance today before we come down for Shavasana. So a sip of water, roll down flat on your back. So we'll start out with a bridge. Heels in near hips, knees bent and lifted, heels about knee or about hip width apart. A neat little trick is to take a block, or if I haven't mentioned them before, remind me after class when we chatted, the Dollar Tree balls. I love the Dollar Tree little rubber balls. But if you squeeze a block or one of those balls between your knees, you get the added bonus of turning on the abductor, adductor. That's those muscles on the outside and the inside of your thighs that help your legs move. And we don't use them enough, so they get weak. But we'll start with bridge. So there's something squeezed between your knees if you'd like, or not, your choice. Heels about hip width apart, hands down by your hips, fingers spread wide. Roll your shoulders back, press the tops of your shoulders and the tops of your upper arms into the mat, and then release. We're gonna go for bridge. Inhale, press into your heels, into your shoulders, upper arms, hips lift. Gaze stays up, and the chest comes to the chin, but the chin doesn't move. Press through your heels and press the heels away from you as if you were going to tear the mat underneath your backside. And you'll find that your spine begins to arch. It's a different kind of back bend. But when we press into the heels, we turn on the quadriceps and we turn on the glutes.
So press and lift, press and lift. And then slowly lower the hips back to the mat. Windshield wiper the legs from side to side. Let them drop from one side and then the other. And then let's get one more bridge. Come back to center. Lift your toes. It doesn't help. You want to press with the heels, not with the toes. Inhale and lift the bridge. Take that bridge up as high as feels right in your body today. And then maybe one more millimeter. Ask yourself to grow. One more millimeter of arch. And then slowly lower. Windshield wiper the legs. Just a quick little core move today. This is what I absolutely love because I found that it not only strengthens the core, but it's a phenomenal little hamstring stretch happening at the same time. So go ahead and draw both knees into your chest. Use the hands, give the knees a little alternating hug. So you massage the low back on your mat. Then leaving the right knee drawn in, drop the left foot to the mat. And then switch. Right foot to the mat, left knee drawn in. And then switch. And switch. Now you can go slow with your breath or go a little faster. But just set up a rhythm and keep moving. Just keep switching your legs. So this is bust up one. This is a sneaky core strengthener. It turns on the belly muscles. But we're going to add on. Next time you switch, next time the right leg goes in, don't let the left foot go to the floor. Let it just hover somewhere midair around your hip. So it's not a big change, but it is. It asks the belly to work harder. Now check in with your low back. Low back should be velcro to the floor, not shimmy up and down the mat, but really staying in place. Bust up two. Bust up three. Next time the right leg goes in, the left leg goes long. And then you switch, right leg goes long. And then left. Now here I really encourage you to slow down so that you're not using momentum, you're using muscle strength. The lower your heel goes toward the mat, the more your belly has to work. Those deep abdominal muscles really have to fire to support the extended weight. So let's switch it home over. Take a break whenever you're ready. Let's finish out one more round. Then draw both knees in. Draw them in and give them the alternating hug from side to side. Little rock from side to side. Now, hands on the knees or under the knees, ankles apart or crossed. We'll do 3 or 4 big rocky rolls of your spine up and down the mat. Just rocking and massaging the spine all the way up and down the mat. And then as you're ready, grab a sip of water and let's come back to standing on the front of the mat. So standing at the short edge of your mat, I'm going to turn to face you. We'll reset for a standing balance posture here. My pants keep sliding down today. So reset your feet, reset your mountain, and let's reset the breath. Inhale, hands come up and over. And exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up, extended mountain. Exhale, sit down and back in chair. Knees stay behind the toes. You should be able to peek over your knees and see your toes. And if toes are apart, so are knees. If toes are together, so are knees. This is another posture that I love to squeeze a block or one of those balls. Because again, it gives another benefit to the posture. Hips go down and back. Inhale, maybe the shoulders lift up so that the chin is parallel with the floor. Inhale to lift, exhale, hips go down and back. Bring the hands to heart center. Inhale, grow long in the spine. Exhale, hinge forward at the hips. Inhale, grow long in the spine. Exhale, left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Now, if it doesn't come all the way there, that's okay. But if you can anchor the elbow to the knee, pressing the palms of the hands together, you find a little more traction in the twist here in the mid-body. Check in with the knees, they should still be level. One will want to pop out in front of the other. Inhale to find more length in the spine. Exhale for perhaps a slightly deeper twist. Inhale for length. Exhale for twist. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, unwind, come back through center. Hands go up. Bring your weight into your right foot. Peel your left toes away from the mat. Go ahead and drop your hands down to your hips. We're setting up for eagle. A trick, I don't know that we've done this one before, so let me pause here to give you a little trick. Drop your block down beside your right toes. So back to standing, knees softly bent. We're going to set up for eagle. Weight comes into the right foot, left toes peel up, left knee comes out, left foot goes over. Find your block as a kickstand, or maybe the foot wraps all the way around the back of the calf. See where you're at today. Sit the hips down and back, just like we did in chair. Now this is the bottom half of eagle. Find a drishti, something to look at. Let's add the top half. Left arm goes out, right elbow goes inside left elbow. Start with the backs of the hands together and elbows lift. Your shoulders are a little more open. Wrap the hands so it's palm to palm. Then the elbows lift and the hips drop. Shoulders rise just a little on the inhale. Hips drop a little deeper on the exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, unwind all of that. Shake it out. Go ahead and move your block to the other side. We'll do that chair, the revolved prayer chair, and eagle on this side. So let's reset. Find your mountain. Find the breath. Inhale, extended mountain, hands up and over. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, sit down and back in your chair. Little bit of weight in the heels. Definitely dropping down through the hips. Shoulders rise a little bit. Chin lifts. Gaze comes out. Now, if the arms are tired, you can take them to your heart or your hips at any point. We build strength, stamina, flexibility, millimeter by millimeter. Go ahead and drop your hands to your heart center. Let's get the revolved twist here. Inhale to find length in the spine. Exhale to hinge forward, tummy toward thighs. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, right elbow, left knee. Then press through the hands. Press through the hands. That gives you some traction to deepen the twist. Make sure the hips are dropped low. Inhale to find length. Exhale to find twist. Inhale to find length. Exhale to find twist. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, unwind, come all the way back up, extended mountain. We've already got our block in place. Exhale, hands to heart center. Weight in the left foot this time. Inhale, peel the right toes up. Knee goes out, and then the foot goes over. Big cross of the legs right at the groin. Find your block, let that foot just hang. Drop the hips back down in your semi-chair again. Now you can stay right here, just pressing the hands together. You can wrap the right foot around the back of the left calf. To add the other half of the eagle, let the arms go out. Right arm under, left arm on top. Perhaps the backs of the hands together. Now, if that's too much, just find a hug. Just give yourself a hug. But maybe the backs of the hands come together. Maybe the palms of the hands come together. We inhale to lift the elbows over shoulders. We exhale to drop the hips. Inhale for lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale, unwind, unwrap, come all the way up, and give that a big hokey pokey shake out. And let's get ready to finish out this practice and head for Shavasana. So take your block out of the way. Go ahead and come down on your back. Do just a quick hip stretch here, so we have time for a proper Shavasana. So sitting up nice and tall to start with, take a knee with you to protect your low back as you go down. Then hug your right knee way in, left heel on the floor to begin with. Cross the legs way up the thigh. Then reach down, get both knees, and bring both crossed knees in towards your chest. This is called whale's tail. Now you can stay right here, holding onto the crossed knees, or begin to slide your hand down your leg towards your feet. Now if your hands come to your feet, we gently let the feet go wider and wider apart and draw the feet in closer to the hips. So we're turning on a big stretch in the outside of the top leg hip. So in this case, it's our right big stretch. This is called whale's tail. You want to add a little to it, you can lift the torso, bring your nose up towards your knee. Or maybe not. Gently pulling to get a big stretch to the outside of the hip joint. And then with control, release, relax. Let both feet go back to the mat, or you should wipe it from side to side. Come back to center. Leave the left foot on the mat, hug the right foot way in. Said that wrong. Right foot on the mat, left foot, other side. So left knee comes way, hug it way in. So that when you cross the legs, the cross of the legs is way up in the lymph nodes, up the lymph glands of the crotch. So knees are stacked. If this is enough, stay here. This is a good bus stop. But next bus stop would be to lift the right foot away from the floor, take hold of one or both knees, and hug them in. Bus stop 2. If you have enough stretch going to the outside of the left hip, stay here. Otherwise, begin to slide your hands down towards your shins, your ankles, maybe your feet. Now let the feet go wide so that the knees can come in closer. Let the feet spread as wide as the mat or more. As you gently draw the knees in a little closer, deep stretch in the outside of the hip. Let's just do one more breath here. If you want to curl up knee nose, feel free to take it. Just make sure you're lifting from the belly, not from your shoulders and neck. And then unwind both feet to the mat. Windshield wiper the legs from side to side. Go ahead and tee out your arms, let the hands face up. And the next time both knees drop off the right side of your mat, let them stay there. Left hip can lift, but shoulder blades stay on the mat. If this feels okay, this is a good bus stop. If you want more sensation in the outside of the left leg, put the right foot up on the left knee. That lengthens and deepens the twist. If that's too much, just slide the foot back to the floor. I like it on one side, do not like it at all on the other side. One more breath. Slide the right foot back to the mat if it wasn't already. Both knees through center, both knees drop off the left. Same thing, shoulder blades stay on the mat, hip to the left. Left foot can come up on top of the right knee or not. Notice how the sensation is different from one side of your body to the other side. It's not right or wrong. It's not something that needs to be fixed necessarily. But we're learning to notice, to be aware, to be connected. And if we learn to be aware, to notice and be connected to our own body, we begin to be aware and connected to other people and to other facets of our lives. Slide the left foot to the floor if it wasn't already. Give the knees a last little soft windshield wiper, then hug both knees in tight. Curl up into the tightest little ball of yogi imaginable. Really curl up tight, nose to knees, knees to nose, curl your toes, your fingers, your ears, your cheekbones, your shoulder, everything squeezes in tight, little bitty ball of yogi, and then release. Shavasana. Let the breath go with a big sigh. Let the body spread, sprawl, take up space. But take the time in this Shavasana, just like every other posture, to build the posture. So we check in with our feet, ankles, knees, hips, hands, shoulders, the back of our head, our forehead. Check in. Release and relax. Soften your forehead. Let your eyes be closed and easy. Let your cheeks melt. Your jaw be relaxed. Let your shoulders soften. Let your heart open. Let your hips be easy. Arms and legs, hands and feet, fingers and toes. Any tension anywhere, let it just go. Let it go. For this moment, all you need to do is breathe. Bring your attention back to your breath. Begin to deepen the breath. Begin to be more aware of the breath, and aware of the breath as it supports the body. Let your awareness of the breath go out into fingers and toes. And find some little wiggles. Let those little wiggles become gentle movements, small stretches. And let the small stretches get larger and larger. Maybe arms go out overhead or out to the side. Let the stretches get big. And as you're ready, let the stretches bring you back up to seated or bent. And we'll close out today's practice. Ladies, as always, it is an absolute joy to get to hang out with you on Wednesday afternoons. I love guiding this practice. And I thank you for the honor of allowing me to do that and for showing up to share your time, your light, your love, your energy with me. I appreciate it very much. The light in me sees, honors, and reflects the light in each of you. May peace be yours today, tomorrow, and always. May joy surround your heart and laughter fill your days. And may love lead you on. Namaste. Let me make my way back over with chair in hand. So Wanda, thanks for letting me know about the camera pointed at the ceiling. That was fun, wasn't it? Yeah. And a little more feedback. I turned the mic on, but left it laying over here on my little platform. How was the volume today?
Good, turn the recording off.
You're so good. You're so good.